Good morning, EDU 500 students. We've just wrapped up week 4 and we're going to enter week 5 on Monday. The purpose of this video is to talk a bit about the purpose of the work that you're engaged in and to review the assignments that are ongoing and assignments that are upcoming, and I think that's about it. So I understand that there's a few people in the class who have already taken EDU 544, and there's a few people in the class who are not teaching in classrooms. So those folks, just bear with me here, and I'm going to address the work for you in a second. But for those folks who are going to take EDU 544 next semester, and even more broadly, as you think about the work that you're engaged in this course this semester, I want to just clarify for you that this course is about sort of broadly envisioning what educational research is, and then developing a research proposal so that when you go to EDU 544, you're going to conduct that research study. But what do I mean by research? So the type of research that you're expected to do, and the type of research that is typical among classroom teachers, is called teacher research. Another way to call it is action research. So teacher research is practical and grounded in action. It enables teachers to pursue and interest a topic of study as well as their needs, to investigate what they do and usually what their students do. So it's very grounded in your actual classroom and typically not about activities outside of your classroom, and for the purpose of examining your own practices or examining a phenomena or both and improving that circumstance. So teachers who practice teacher research typically find that it expands and enriches their teaching skills and enables them to collaborate with peers who also are engaging in research. So it's like the sort of homegrown professional development. So rather than going to a professional development workshop, there's parameters to engage in research that we'll work on in this course, but the topic that you pursue and the questions that you pursue are connected to actual issues that are in your classroom. So Mills is a teacher researcher who's done a lot of this work, and I'll be perfectly transparent here. I've conducted action research as a classroom teacher, and it was one of the things that changed my teaching practice for the better. It enabled me to see the things and reflect upon the things that I needed to do differently. So rather than trying to fix, right, or trying to measure what students were doing, I had to consider the practices that I was engaging in through systematic inquiry, documentation, so that I could see for myself how I might take a different approach to resolve a particular issue. So action research, Mills writes, action research is a systematic inquiry conducted by teachers, but sometimes conducted by principals or counselors or other stakeholders. But it's in the teaching and learning environment for the purpose of gathering information about how a teacher teaches and also how well students learn, or how students are experiencing learning. This information is gathered with the goals of gaining insight, developing reflective practice, affecting positive change in the school, and improving students' experiences in the school. So let me say that again. Gaining insight, developing reflective practice, affecting positive change, and improving students' experiences in the school. So the process that we'll you'll be engaging in a couple weeks in terms of designing a research study, again, is to design an action research study. So in a couple of people's papers, their notes or their positionality memos, or through conversation, I'm trying to convey that or encourage that you read studies that are similar to the one that you want to conduct, and sort of begin to narrow down something that is feasible, doable, manageable, and relevant. So that's sort of the context for students who are going to be taking 544. So just to clarify, teacher research, we're not conducting a large-scale study. That's not the work that is happening here, and that's not that that's not important. That's just not the purpose. That's not the scope and sequence of the curriculum in this department. So it's a study of your own practice or a problem in your classroom, or an issue in your classroom, or a phenomena in your classroom. So there's that. Now, for those of you who are not in a school, we should talk one-on-one, because you're getting ready to design the study and you'll still be taking 544 next. But we need to think about what is the context for your study, and we need to think about that really quickly. So I've talked to some folks already. So if you're not in a classroom and we haven't talked about sort of next steps, please make an appointment with me. So because you'll be in about 2 weeks beginning to design your proposal, and we need to sort of determine how you're going to engage in this work in the fall. Now, for those of you who have taken 544 already, which just tickles me, I have to say, here's a couple of things that I would like you to consider. One of the sort of, you'll be sort of designing your research proposal still, but maybe you'll need to refine your study design. So maybe you've conducted your study already in 544. This is an opportunity to refine your design for the purpose of conducting another study in your class. Now, I know you're saying, hey, I'm graduating, I'm not conducting another study. And I would just encourage you to consider that teachers are engaged in research on a daily basis. You're always investigating phenomena in your classroom, making observations, making informed decisions. So those are like research activities. In a research study, obviously it's a sort of a longer discipline inquiry, but there's, again, this benefit to developing your own practices, better understanding what's taking place, and making improvements. In addition, there's an opportunity to develop a thesis for those of you who want to sort of further engage in this work. So if you're interested in talking about that, send me an email, let me know what you'd like to pursue, and we can sort of begin that conversation now. I'm asking folks to think about these things and make some decisions, again, because I want you to be strategic in the next few weeks. I want you to have a proposal that you can use, or to refine a study design, that is relevant to your classroom practice after you graduate, or to design a study that will not happen in a school but will have some import to your lives. This work is difficult, so it should be relevant. So please sort of begin to think about that and reach out to me if there are questions about sort of next steps. Okay, so where are we now in the course? Well, there's like a couple different things that should be happening, or ongoing activities that are happening, and then upcoming. So most people have revised their notes on the article that they found, and have also received feedback on what I'm suggesting or encouraging you examine next, right? So for some of you, I've said you should broaden the scope of the literature that you read. For others, I've said, oh, you're saying something here. You should narrow. You should think about sort of specifically looking at this. And others, I've said, this is a good study. Find another one that says the same thing. So again, I want to just sort of reiterate that, you know, teachers have busy lives, and I respect the work that we're all engaged in. And, you know, I'm among you as well, as a teacher, educator, and a former teacher. I'm not into busy work. So I want you all to work strategically and efficiently. So when I'm giving you feedback about what I'm suggesting you do next, it's sort of grounded in knowledge about what I hear you saying and what are some possibilities for you to pursue. So if I'm saying something like, oh, I don't know how you're going to do this, I'm really saying this is probably impossible to conduct. And I don't want you to be in the fall having to redesign a proposal and conduct a proposal. So there's always opportunity to discuss other options if you want to. If you don't agree with my suggestion, or you have a question about my suggestion, but I ask that you consider that the suggestion isn't because I want you to pursue something that I find interesting. I'm saying that I find that something that you're saying seems compelling, and it's probably understudied, and it's something that you could complete next semester. So you should be continuing to locate, read, and take notes on journal articles. So you've done one. You should be on a second one right now. So I hope everybody understands that a part of your proposal includes the literature review. So having read one article about your topic, and maybe you have other articles that you've read before, you'll still need to expand your knowledge base about your topic. And as you're continuing to determine what your topic is, you know, your topic may change because you read literature that changes your perspective. So you should be sort of continuing to again, find articles, take notes, and like, don't stop that activity because you'll be later in the semester needing to understand and know a body of literature about your topic. I'm not asking you to turn in your notes. I think you have a template for notes, and you can develop your own process. I think the processes you engaged in is beneficial, but if you have another process or you have adapted the process, you know, feel free to pursue that. I will say that, folks, the revised notes are so much better. So I think that template is good, and to be honest, when I was in graduate school, I wish I had the structure like that or something similar to document the articles that I was reading. Because if you don't, you just forget about them, and you'll need them in this course. Okay, I think that is all for now. Oh, no, it's not. So the next, the reading in your Cresswell book is posted. The focus is on theory. There's a discussion board assignment, and that's posted. I understand that folks have been like revising maybe both their notes and their positionality statements. So instead of a Monday due date, your due date for discussion board is Wednesday. In my last check, no one has posted yet. So sort of be mindful that Wednesday is going to come up quick. And in addition to the Cresswell article, I posted another suggested reading that I also encourage you to take a look at. It's brief, it's accessible, it's written in a different way than Cresswell, so maybe it might make more sense to you. So that's posted in the module. Discussion board is a post and a response for full credit. So I look forward to reading your thoughts. Take care.